Hello everybody, Jack here, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be servicing the supercharger off the Mini R53. So we've got the supercharger off and on the table now, so we're going to go and service it and replace all the gaskets. I'll leave a link in the description to where I bought the service kit from and also the gaskets and whatever. But yeah, for now, let's get cracking. So by now you would have seen me take this off, or you might see it next week, me taking this off. I'm not too sure what order I'm going to do everything in, but anyway, the supercharger's off the car. This is pretty much the easiest way to service it and get everything off, so that's what I've done. So in this video we will also be replacing the supercharger pulley, which is exciting, so make sure you stay tuned to the end where you'll see me replace that. So first things first, we're going to start cracking all these bolts off. I think they're all going to be 10s, but yeah, let's start on them. And there we have it, that's the horn off. There's the old gasket, we should pull that off. So you're going to put the horn to one side. Now you can actually see the supercharger rotors inside of, well, the supercharger. You can see them there. Pretty cool. So this supercharger is the facelift model, so that means these are Teflon coated tips. So yeah, just have a spin of that, just check it looks okay, check for any wear. I can see a tiniest bit, tiny little scratches, but I think that's to be expected. The videos I've watched of this process have seen the same thing, so I'm not too worried. So next we're going to remove the water pump. These are 13mm bolts. Would be a lot easier with some sort of ice. I don't have one. It's definitely easier to remove it than it would be to do it on the car. Going to give it a few taps with a hammer. And that's the water pump out. Now this here is one of the fill plugs. You have to take this side and the other side off. So we're going to loosen this fill plug now. Okay, so I think it's actually like a T25 maybe. Did the trick, but just crack that now. I've got a little dish underneath it because a little bit of oil might pour out. If it doesn't, you just need to get it out. So, or in my case, there's only a dribble. Smells like fish. Okay, so that's that side done. There is not a lot of oil in there. There isn't meant to be loads, but there's not that much. So I'm going to grab my supercharger turbine oil for an Eaton M45, which is what these are. This is some Shell stuff. I'll leave a link to this in the description. And I'm going to use a provided syringe. Suck up a little bit into that. I'm going to place that in there. Squirt it in. Pretty much until it comes out of the fill hole.
Make sure you sit the supercharger flat so that you can get an accurate reading of the level of oil inside the supercharger.
I put the fill plug back in this side. Pretty much when I held it up level, it was slowly coming out, so we knew we had the right level in there. So we're going to do the other side. That's the same game. Here's the fill plug. So I'm going to use the same one as last time. Put that in there. So I've got the Torx bit in there. Just going to go ahead and crack this off. Just like that. I'm going to get my tub and drain it into that again. Bit more in there this time. Quite a good colour as well, actually. Okay. So yeah, like I said, a bit more in it this time. A relatively good colour. We're going to replace that. So it's the same deal. Just going to try and place it as flat as possible. It's quite hard on this table. Tiny bit coming out of the hole. Wait till we got a bit more. As you can see, there's a nice little steady flow coming out. So we're going to put the plug back in. Just like that. Tighten it up with a ratchet. There you have it. That's the service done. Now you just got to do the gaskets. So the fill plug's in tight, I'm happy with that. So we're going to put the water pump back on, and then we'll get to changing the pulley. So just line that up. You might need to twist the pulley just to get everything to line up properly. Put them bolts back in. Should only fit on one way, so don't worry if you didn't keep it in the correct orientation when you took it off. I'm just going to go a bit of a cross pattern. Make sure they're nice and tight. Good, water pump's back on. So I'm going to put the supercharger horn back on now. So there's a gasket for that. So as you can see, it's got top written on this gasket, so you know which way it has to go round. So we've got the gasket on now. We're going to place the horn on, and you might actually find it easier. Whack a bolt through the horn and through the gasket, and then from there line it up with the hole on the charger. I'm going to tighten these up in a crisscross pattern. There we go, so I'm going to go around again in the crisscross pattern, just tighten these up. Don't want any boost leaks, that wouldn't be fun. But speaking of fun, it's time to change the pulley out. What I've got is the KAVS Speed pulley tool. It's for the 0% pulleys, for the stock pulley. This is like the go-to pulley removal tool. I didn't want to really sort of skimp out on it because obviously it's quite important. So first off, I think there's a little plastic cap on this. So got that little bit of plastic out now. So I'm going to use some of the lube that they provide. Just put that over the top of the bolt. It's pretty much just an anti-seize. Just keep the tool good for a while. Now get your pulley tool. Place it over the top. And start threading this bolt in. Might be a bit easy to sort of lie that on its side. Right, now that it's got a bit of pressure, I'm going to go and get a ratchet. So for this bit, you need a 19mm socket and a 22mm spanner, I believe. And I don't have the spanner, so I'm going to try a pair of vice grips. And there we have it, ladies and gents, the pulley's off. As you can see, I'm just unwinding the bolt. Come on. Took a little while, probably took me about 5 minutes. But yeah, pretty much vice grips and a 19mm socket and spanner. We'll get your old 0% pulley off. And now this £70 tool is completely useless. If anyone wants to buy it, let me know and I'll sell it to you. It's only been used once. So yeah, I'll put that back in the box. So obviously that's the old pulley off of the spline. Still looks all okay, doesn't look damaged or anything like that. So we're going to put the new one on. So I've gone for a KAVS 17% reduced pulley. These are a 2-piece pulley, so I've managed to separate them already. If you're struggling on this bit, what you need to do, when the pulley's one, so obviously these two are together, you'll be able to see these bolts popping out through here. So loosen them off until all the bolts are flush with the top of the pulley. So put the correct Torx or hex bit into the top of the bolts, like so, and then basically tap down on them in a cross pattern, and eventually this will drop out. Big shout out to George, he gave me the tip to get that off. Cheers buddy. But now what we're going to do, I'm just going to unthread these screws, bolts, only threaded them back in so I wouldn't lose them. Now it's time to put the inner part of the pulley onto the spline. Now these are push fit, so you need to make sure it's pushed on as far back as it can be to ensure that it makes a good connection to the spline. So I'm going to push it on as far back as it will go, which is indeed there. Then we're going to get our pulley, just line up the bolt holes and push it on. Okay, so this bolt is all that stands between you having a really bad day and a really good day. All 4 of them obviously. So we're going to be using blue Loctite, that's what KAVS recommend. So I'm going to Loctite these. I don't know how much you need, but we're going to go with that much. Thread it in. So we're going to go cross pattern again, so I'm going to do the others again with Loctite. So I'm going to give you a quick size comparison. This is the 17 reduced KAVS pulley, and this is the stock pulley, and pretty much the KAVS pulley almost fits inside it, so it's quite a bit smaller, which will obviously help with the power. So here I've got my old auxiliary or drive belt, and what we're going to do is just push that around there like that and hold it tight. Obviously we don't need this anymore, so I'm not too worried about ruining it. This is the non-reduced pulley belt. And we're going to use that as like something to sort of hold the pulley from spinning too much while we tighten up these bolts. I'm going to go crisscross because why the hell not? Just like that. They're all tight now. So that's it. That's the KAVS 17% reduced pulley fitted and the supercharger serviced with a new gasket. So that's it for today's video. We successfully installed the 17% KAVS reduced supercharger pulley. We also managed to service the supercharger, changing the oil and also changing out the gasket. I will obviously be refitting the supercharger in a later video, so make sure you hit subscribe to stay up to date with that. And yeah, we're at a bit of a stumbling block with the Mini project at the minute, mainly due to money. Money's everything really with a project car, but I am trying to get everything back up and running as soon as possible. So I appreciate your patience. There will obviously still be weekly videos, but it might not necessarily be about the Mini project. But anyway, for now, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Go and check out my website, www.groundandgears.uk. We've got stickers for sale there, which help support project cars like this. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one.